Welcome back, sir. In the last class, we were doing the scanner for the chapter number 1 of the auditing. That's nature of the auditing. Yes or no, sir? So, remaining questions on the scanner. Few questions are there. Relationship between the auditing and other disciplines. Few questions are there. To know the knowledge of the human behavior is indeed very essential for the auditor as to effective discharge of his duties. So, this topic is something related to auditing and economics, auditing and accounts, auditing and other disciplines are there, no, beta? This one only. Interdisciplinary nature of the auditing relationship with the other subjects. So you should have the knowledge of the accountancy to do the audit. You should have knowledge of the law. You should have knowledge of the behavioral science. While teaching also, I said this topic is very, very important. What is behavioral science? How client will how client may behave. So how client may hide, how we have to ask, how we have to respond, so how we have to give them answer for the questions asked by client. Sometimes client also will when we ask the question, no, client will give explanation, so how we have to answer, how we have to question in depth to client. All these things is said to be behavioral science. Which sense, madam? During the course of the auditor has to interact with a lot of persons for seeking the information and making the queries. We should know how to question the client, how they may hide, how we have to respond. This can be done only if you have the knowledge of the human behavior. If client is aggressive, we have to slow down. Yes sir, no? So we should not shout just because he's shouting. We should know how to treat the people. So knowledge of human behavior is essential for the auditor for effective discharging of his duties. This question only came 2-3 times in the exam. Knowledge of the human behavior is indeed, which means essential. Indeed very essential for the auditor as to effective discharge of his duties. Yes or no? So he may give this kind of questions for 2 marks and 3 marks. So auditor should have the knowledge of the human behavior for effective discharging of his duties. The same question, beta. Discuss the following. The discipline of the human discipline of the behavioral sciences closely linked with the subject of the auditing. How client may behave, how client may hide, how we have to question him, without hurting that guy, how we have to communicate. Yes sir, no sir. So all this knowledge who's supposed to have, beta? Auditor. That one is very, very important. Next, relationship between the auditing and relationship between the auditing and FM, relationship between the auditing and law. So this kind of questions he is asking in the exam, beta. Mostly is asking auditing and human behavior, auditing and law, auditing and FM. Done. 8 questions, beta. Oh, accounting and auditing are closely related. Accounting and auditing. So being an auditor should have the knowledge of the accounting technique, accounting process, accounting standards. Yes or no, sir? Because we're going to check the accounts. We're going to check the same thing. 2 marks, 3 marks. They may give. Next. A question dekho, beta. This question is based on the that essays are there, no? In the last we have discussed. The standards in auditing apply in historical financial information. Which information, beta? History or prospective? History. SCS apply. We made a chart also, I think. So audit of historical information. Whereas standards and review engagements, SREs, will apply review of the historical information. Explain in detail, giving the examples. He is asking the some standard examples also. He is asking, beta. ये देखो बेटा, this thing he is asking. SS and SRS. SS and SS will apply in audit of the historical financial information, and SREs, standards on review engagements, will apply in review of the historical financial information. So he's asking more explanation, beta. He is asking all these things. Examples: SA 200 and SA 200 to 750, 200 to 210, 220, 230, all are the SCIs. So it is important to remember that standards on auditing will apply audit of the historical information. Which information, beta? So this establishes high quality of the benchmarks for the examination. So example 700, 200 to 715. Standards on the review engagement. Standards and review engagements will apply in the context of the review of the historical financial information. Historical financial information. So these have already studied that term. Review is limited to limited assurance. Auditing is in auditing what we will give? Reasonable assurance. In case of the review, what we will give? Limited assurance. So he's asking some examples also. But some of the examples kya beta? SRA 200, SRA 2410. So his examples also he's asking in the exam. Done. This question came in the RTP May 2022. 200, 230, 220 is our examples. क्वेश्चन देखो बेटा कितना बड़ा है 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 lines in my material in ICA 20 lines nearly पढ़ेंगे एक बार बच्चों this was test your knowledge understanding 4 in ICA material देखो आंसर कितना छोटा है Zeba Products is a partnership firm engaged in the trading of the designer dresses. So there is a partnership firm. For partnership firm, auditing compulsory or optional? Optional. So there is a firm called Zeba Products. So what they will do, they will make the designer dresses as per your requirements. We will make the dress for you. Boutique. Yes or no, sir? So the firm has appointed J and J chartered accountants to do their accounts chartered accountants to audit their accounts for the financial year. The firm name Zeba. It's a client name. Firm name, auditor name J and J. The auditors were satisfied with the control system of the firm. Control system means ICS. So what is auditing? Auditing means examination of ICS, examination of the books of accounts, so expressing the opinion on the client. Simply in single line. Auditing means examination of the ICS, examination of the books of accounts, expressing the opinion. So auditors J and J and co auditors were satisfied with the control system of the firm, carried out the required procedures and necessary verifications. In particular, they carried out a sample checking of the purchases, traced purchase bills to GST portal, and also made a confirmation from the suppliers. So matching, everything is matching beta. From GST portal, purchase invoice also matching. They were satisfied with the audit evidence obtained by them as a part of the audit exercise. So they obtained evidences for so many transactions. They satisfied with evidence also beta. What are there in the books of accounts? The evidence also matching. ICS is strong and evidence also matching. They were satisfied with the audit evidence obtained by them as a part of audit exercise. Still not clear? So there is a firm called J-Band Products. They manufacture the dresses. There is the auditors called J and J. They are appointed to the audit of this firm, partnership firm, and they are happy to ICS and evidence also matching. An auditor report was submitted to the firm giving an opinion that the financial statements reflected the true and fair view of state of affairs of the firm. Since evidence is matching, ICS is strong, so they might have given clean report. Which report? An audit report was submitted to the firm giving an opinion that the financial statements reflect the true and fair view. The opinion is, they're giving the opinion like yes, books are showing the true and fair, which means clean report. Which report? No, unmodified report. Which report? No? However, katam. However is very, very important. However, later on it was discovered that purchase manager responsible for procuring the dresses from one location was also booking the fake purchases of small values by colluding with unethical dealers. Collusion. What is collusion? We discussed collusion. Group of people, merging of the group of people with an unlawful purpose. So, however, later on, after giving the clean report, later on it was discovered that a purchase manager responsible for procuring the dresses from various locations, from one location, was also booking the fake purchases of small values by colluding with the unethical dealers. Payments to those dealers were also made in connivance. Connivance means when you have seen this word earlier, definition of the fraud in CA Foundation. Definition of the fraud. Connivance means helping someone to do wrongful activity. What is connivance? In definition of fraud, this word will come. So payments to those dealers were also made in connivance with the accountant through banking channels. Here three people are colluding beta. One is the purchase manager, one is the accountant, third one is the fake supplier. Then समझ में question? So firm name Jeba, auditor's name J and J. So when they're going for examination, investigation examination, examination, they found that ICS is strong. They found that evidence is matching. So they gave a clean report. After giving a clean report, so something was happened, something came out. They realized that there was a fake invoices, fake purchase are there. So payments also made. Purchase is not made, but payment is made. That is meaning fake purchase. Which purchase? Purchase is not, invoice is there, but stock is not entered into the shop. And payments also made with the help of the accountant. Done. The partners of the firm blame the auditors for futile audit exercise. Are the partners of the firm correct in their point of view? Whether auditor is liable for that? It's a fraud. It's a actively concealed. Actively. Imagine any probable reason for the situation. So it is an example of failure of the internal controls of the firm. Who is responsible for the management order? Who has to install the ICS? Management. Who has to keep the ICS in such a way that there was no frauds? Management responsibility. But it is an example of failure of the ICS. The internal control has not operated due to collusion between the employees, which is limitation of the internal control itself. The auditor relied upon the ICS. We rely on the internal control. So you install the ICS. We are not investigators, no beta. Whether auditors are liable for that. But the length of the question, beta. How can you understand this much lengthy question in the exam hall when you're fully stressed already? It is very nature of the financial reporting that management is responsible for devising the suitable ICS. So it is inherent limitation of the auditing, and auditors will not be होना दिया उन्हें ICA में, but auditors will not be liable. बच्चों मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, सुनो बेटा, ये देखो 1 2 3 5 marks 5 lines question is there, 1 line answer is there. ICA test your knowledge, question number 5. But I covered everything better from ICA material, MTPs, RTPs. If you can able to write this scanner, reading कादु, पढ़ना नहीं, लिखना, fit for the exam. Able to understand the questions, able to frame the answer in your right dimag, but लिखने का नहीं आता, but I will tell, you will able to write the answers provided writing. Practice is very very important. कितना बार लिखना? The management of Exotic Tours and Travels Limited requested its auditors Raja and Co to provide the assurance report. Which report? Which assurance we can give? Reasonable assurance, but not. So the client is asking the requesting the auditor to provide the assurance report on the financial information for the first quarter of the year by skipping required detailed procedures. Can we do like that? There is limitation on the auditor scope. The scope is defined by ICA Act. Sorry, ICA Act. Scope is defined by standards, defined by the legislature. Client cannot restrict the scope. Can he restrict the scope, beta? So they are asking for the assurance report. Which report, beta? Assurance skip that too. By skipping the required detailed procedures. Can Raja and Co provide such report? Can they provide the report? Yes or no? Bola bachcha. No. What would be the nature of such report, and would it be necessary for them to obtain the SAI? Whether we have to obtain SAI or not? SAI means such report would be in the nature of the review. However, auditor should have to obtain the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. They are asking for the limited assurance. Which assurance? Then yes sir, no sir. It's not auditing, it is just a review. Which view? If they want absolute assurance, investigation. Then if they want only examination, auditing. What they're asking the report without by skipping the few informations. That means review. Which view? Limited assurance. Which assurance? Here auditor can give only limited assurance. Done. स्कैनर नहीं करे तो आपको आंसर्स नहीं मिलता एग्जाम में. क्लियरा? That can be law, that can be auditing, that can be tax. So do we get the same questions like this in the tax and auditing other subjects also? As it is. Income tax also. Even that amount will not change. Accounts also copy paste hota, but you should do कम से कम 20 years MT पे 60 piece and previous question papers. पक्का. Test your knowledge. Question number 6. CA Babu. CA P Babu. Purushottam Babu is conducting the auditing of the financial statements of a Quick Buy Private Limited. So who is the chartered accountant? Who is the CA here? CA P Babu. What is the client name? Quick Buy Private Limited. He was not able to obtain the external. वे क्या है बेटा? आपको नहीं मालूम बेटा इसके बारे में? Let me explain a few things first. Before that, there is a concept in the auditing called external confirmation. Which confirmation? We will discuss about this later point of view again. But since it is coming here, no, but in the first chapter in the MC in the क्या है बेटा? ICA test your knowledge. Let me explain you what is the meaning of the external confirmation. क्या है? There is a company called Super Duper Company Limited. Super Duper Company Limited. It is their balance sheet. Which should be done? In their balance sheet, there are some debtors are there. Who are there beta? Debtors. Sweetie, Cutie, Naughty. कौन है बेटा? Sweetie has to give 10 lakhs. Cutie has to pay, for example, 12 lakhs. Naughty has to pay 15 lakhs to client. Client का नाम क्या है बेटा? There are some creditors also बेटा. Inky, Pinky, Ponky. Inky, Pinky, Ponky. Client has to pay 7 lakh. Client has to pay 8 lakhs. Client has to pay 9 lakhs. Listening का last bench बाबू. Both of you. Yes sir, no sir. So for this company, SG and Co are auditors. SG and associates are the auditors, for example. So I have to examine assets or not? I have to examine liabilities or not? Yes, I have to examine the assets. I have to examine the liabilities. So I went to Super Duper Company Limited. You said that Sweetie has to give 10 lakhs. Sweetie has to give, show me some proof. They're showing the invoice beta. Create sale invoice. Who created the invoice? Client only created. Can I able to believe that? No. It's the internal evidence. Which evidence, sir? I'm asking you made sale or not? Yes, I made a sale. Then show me the evidence. It's showing the create sale invoice. Which invoice, sir? That may be fake. That may be genuine also. I'm not saying it's fake. It may be genuine also. It can be fake also. Yes, sir. No, sir. Clear na beta? Beta, in Super Duper in client books, Sweet is looking as a debtor. In Sweetie books, whose books beta? In Sweetie books, Super Duper Company Limited. Super Duper Company Limited कैसे बताना? Creator as the 10 lakhs. As the beta, I am the auditor. I am asking the client. The client is giving the evidence, but I am getting it out. I want more evidence, more quality evidence. Then I said, my dear client, can you please give me Sweetie address? Sweetie Company Limited is there, no? Give me their address and phone number and email ID. I directly went to Sweetie's place. I am showing my appointment letter also. Sweetie. I am the auditor of the Super Duper Company Limited. I think you have purchased some goods from the Super Duper because in their balance sheet you are visible as the debtor. So in your books, my client supposed to be creditor. Yes sir, no sir. Can you please confirm me how much you have to give to Super Duper? Sweetie said 9 lakhs. Sweetie said 8 lakhs. Sweetie said 11 lakhs. Match होता match नहीं हो रहा. Yes sir, no sir. Clear ना? 10 lakhs. Sweetie also says 10 lakhs only. It is matching. इसको बोलते हैं external confirmation. Which confirmation? Then evidence obtained by auditor from third party without involvement of the client. It is more reliable evidence or less reliable evidence? More reliable evidence. Then beta, generally we will use it for the debtors and creditors. Debtors and for example Inky है ना बेटा, Inky here Inky is there ना बेटा. So in in our in company in client books inky looking like a sorry sundry creditors है beta. So then I went to inky company limited. In inky company limited super duper कैसे बताना बेटा super duper as a debtor वर्th 7 lakh है ना बेटा. With the help of the I am asking this guy address of the inky. I went to inky and confirming same amount match or iora. If it is matching fine, not matching I have to go for other procedures. उसको बोलते हैं external confirmation. Which confirmation लिखो बेटा external statements में लिखो. External confirmation means evidence obtained by auditor, from third party, without involvement of the client. Comma, it increases the reliability of audit evidence. It increases the reliability. It is more reliable evidence otherwise. It is more reliable audit evidence. Which is more reliable audit evidence. Because client is not involved, no beta. Involved, not involved? Not involved. When standard is there for external confirmation, we will discuss it later. I will ask you at that time also. But suno beta. Let us go back to question beta. Test your knowledge. Question number 6 in ICA material. CAP is conducting the audit of financial statements of Quick by Private Limited. He was not able to obtain the external confirmation from the certain debtors. Due to practical difficulties and peculiar circumstances. है ना? So we are unable to obtain the external confirmation. किसको CAP बाबू है ना? समझ में till now? However, important. इधर से water wording is very important. However, such procedure is mandated under the some standards of the auditing. So external confirmation is compulsory. We should do it. We do provide the reliable evidence. Which evidence? But standard also there. So देखो बेटा, auditor is unable to obtain the external evidence, but this is important audit procedure. However, such procedure is mandated under the one of the standards on the auditing. Unable to obtain the external confirmation from these debtors, he relied upon the sales details to those parties, e-invoices, e-way bill, and also trace the payments from those parties in the bank accounts of the company. Since he was unable to reach the debtors, he's checking the internal evidence only. That is a create sale invoice, all these things, create sale invoice, and payments made by the supply buyers. All these things he's checking better. He's checking only internal evidence, nothing but. Yes or no, sir? Unable to obtain external evidence from these debtors, he relied upon the sales details to these parties like electron e-invoice, e-way bill, also trace the payments from these parties in the bank accounts of the company. He was reasonably satisfied. Which how he satisfied? Reasonably satisfied with the audit evidence obtained. Is there any other reporting dusty cast? Is there any other reporting duty cast upon him relating to not following the mandated procedures in one of the standards on auditing? Since he is unable to follow the standard of external confirmation, is there any duty on the auditor? Yes. Whenever, for example, beta, I should take the class from 10 to 12. For example, I am unable to take the class from 10. It's my duty. Mandated duty. 10 to 12 I should take the class, but I am unable to take the class from 10 to 12. I have to give explanation to management or not? Essays are mandatory or optional? Mandatory. You have to follow the essays. Here we are able to follow the essay or not? Unable to follow the essay. So we have to explain or not in our audit report? We should write in our audit report. We have to write a working note also. Working paper also we have to create. I am unable to follow this essay because this is the reason. Since I am unable to follow the essay, I am following this procedure. You're supposed to go like this, but you're going like this. You would explain or not why you're going like this? Beta. Why you're unable to go like that also? Explanation required or not required? That is the answer. समझ में आया? Question समझ में आया बेटा? Should I explain one question one more time? Yeah, see. He is required to document, required to how alternate procedures are performed to achieve the purpose of the required procedure. Since he was unable to obtain the external confirmation, I am taking only internal evidence. He has to document a paper. I am unable to do that thing because this is the reason. Since I was unable to obtain the external confirmation, I am checking this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. I am moreover I am satisfied also because everything is matching. He is required to document alternate procedures performed to achieve the purpose of the required procedure. Reason for departure, reason for why I am unable to do the external confirmation. What I am doing, why I am unable to do all these things we have documented or not better. So reason for the departure has to be documented unless it is clear, and his report should draw the attention to the such departure. So he has to prepare a document also. Why I am unable to follow that thing. So how I am then what, since I am unable to obtain external confirmation, what I did to satisfy myself. Then yes sir, no sir. समझ में आया बेटा? ऐसे वाला क्वेश्चन can you able to answer in the exam without doing the scanner? 200% no. Next question beta, ICAT TYK test show knowledge 2 beta. Assurance engagements are not restricted to audit finance statements alone. Yes, because we are having the 5 types of standards. How many types beta? Not restricted to auditor. It is also applicable to reviews, also applicable to assurance engagements, also applicable to related services, also applicable to quality controls. Then this question he may ask for 2 marks, 3 marks. So the following standards issued under the authority of ICA Council are collectively known as the engagement standards. क्या बोलते इसको? 5 types applicable to auditing, applicable to review, applicable to standards on the engagement, assurance engagements, standards on the related service, and also quality control. Then scanner is supreme for every subject. Again I am telling you. ICAT TYK test your knowledge. Question number 3. An assurance engagement involves, which engagement beta? Assurance engagement involves 3-part relationship. I said no, but this question अभी तक तो नया आया. He may ask in the exam because this is new topic and JP. It's not exam question, this is a ICA question beta. Yeah, an assurance engagement involves 3-part relationship. Discuss the meaning of 3 parties. Who are the 3 parties? Auditor, client, users. Auditor को क्या बोलते हैं इधर? Practitioner. Client को क्या बोलते हैं? Responsible party. And users, internet users. है ना बेटा? देखो बेटा, 3-part relationship is there. One is the practitioner, other one is the responsible party, other one is the internet users. Practitioner means auditor, responsible party means BOD, and internet users means shareholders, suppliers, creditors, bankers, etc. Done. ये एग्जाम में नहीं आया बेटा, बट ICA में आया. Next, test your knowledge question number 4. A chartered accountant is specifically asked to check the accounts whether fraud exists. It will become investigation, frankly speaking. State with reasons whether it is an example of reasonable assurance. No, it is not a reasonable assurance. It is in the nature of the 2 mark 3 mark के लिए आता बेटा ऐसा. Easy better, subject looks like difficult, but it is not difficult, it is easy. So it is not a reasonable assurance engagement, it is an investigation. But I said no, already in the last class we have some questions, so he can also ask the questions on the error of principle, fundamental accounting assumptions, so all these things also I give. Mostly he will not ask, but chance is 95% these things will not ask. Error of omission, error of commission, compensating error, so fundamental accounting principles. So what is fundamental accounting principles? So going concern, consistency, accrual, so he may ask those things also in the exam, but less chance better. Done. So with this we have done with the scanner of the first chapter. Clear? So we'll start the second chapter in the next class. Have a great time. Enjoy the day. Prepare well. SG signing off. Take care.